Welcome back to Gear 182. Thanks for joining us. Today we have a pretty cool episode that I don't know how much people will take away from, but it's still a really cool conversation that Brian and I have been having recently, just about talking about, the made in Mexico Fender DeLonge Stratocasters that came out in around, what was it, 2000, 2001, something like that?
Yeah, sorry to burn everybody out with all the Tom stuff. It's just what we're getting requests for. Also, I got a new microphone. It's right here. Hope I sound good. Anyways, we just thought it'd be a fun episode to do the Fender Made Mexico Strat for Tom DeLonge. And they came out, what was it, 2000, 2001, and they ran until 2003.
Mm-hmm. So for those who just aren't familiar, it was alder body, neck was a modern C shape. Everybody I think knows, traditional large 70s headstock.
You want to show the pic and I'll just talk about my stories with it and you can just say and we'll just go from there. So you want to go first? You want me to?
If you want to, yeah. One cool thing, they came in the four colors. They came in the yellow, the green, the blue, and the black. Pretty solid colors.
I guess we should say this so it's on the record. That's Daphne blue. It's not Sonic blue. Surf green, black is what they called it, and graffiti yellow.
Yeah. And
so the way that this Strat worked for me, I was like 14, 15 years old, maybe even 13. I'd have to do the math. But I wanted this guitar really bad, and my mom was helping me pre-order it. And Musician's Friend was the company I was choosing to use. And I remember that I would call, and I would check online, and it just kept saying coming, and it would have a date there. And I remember the first color they ever got was the black. And then they had green, and then they had blue, and then they had yellow. And they were $499.99. And in the Musician's Friend catalog, it was that picture of Tom holding the subsonic, the baritone with the maple neck. And I remember I was trying to debate between the green or the yellow. And I was like, man, I could have the yellow with the maple neck. I didn't know it was subsonic. Nobody did. And so I ended up getting the green. And the yellow, a friend of mine got, and he got it. And he was like, dude, what the crap? It's got a rosewood neck. It doesn't have the maple neck. Is it messed up? Like, what is wrong? And so he called Musician's Friend, and they said, no, they all have rosewood neck. I don't know why you thought it had maple. He's like, because it had that picture in the catalog. And I would love to have those catalogs now. I wish I still had them. Yeah. If you ever see any other colors of these, just know that they're not original. They only came in these four colors as far as the Fender Strat goes. And like you said, C-shaped maple neck resembles a 1969 Strat. Notice that it's got the fat headstock and it's got 21 frets instead of 22. It's got the large, they call it the CBS headstock on there. Hardtail bridge, Seymour Duncan bridge invader pickup.
Oh, I thought it was a neck.
Oh man, you'll have to watch a video that's up from Gear 182. Just kidding.
Gotcha.
The chrome knob, obviously. The vintage style tuners on the back, which are very similar to the 1969's Strat's original tuners. What am I missing? Anything? Oh, medium jumbo frets, yeah. Rosewood fretboard, and perloid pickguard, which is pretty cool because back in the early 2000s, everybody was all about perloid pickguards, yeah. Man. Like, everybody was buying them and putting them on their Eric Clapton Strats and everything.
It was big, yeah. Cobain, I think, started, didn't he, with Jag Stings? Having the perloid?
Yeah.
That's where I first remember seeing it. Pickguard. Yeah.
So what's your story with the Tom DeLonge Strat?
So for me, for people that don't know, so I live in Canada. So we have, Musician's Friend or Guitar Center for you. It's called Long and McQuaid for us. So I would go every week to Long and McQuaid. They would always have either the green or the blue. Every week I would pick up the green and play it nonstop while the family went grocery shopping next door. I couldn't afford it. I didn't have enough. I wasn't lucky enough
Yeah.
to being able to afford it. But I played it every week that I went to that store. The first time I actually was officially able to get one wasn't until 2005, I think it was 2004, 2005. So a little bit later.
Man.
A little bit
Late.
later than everybody else. I couldn't afford it when it came out.
Was it still in the stores at that time?
It was, yeah. I mean, they had the blue one was one that I got. So but it was very rare to have. They had a couple of used ones there too, because people traded them in after a little bit. But I did get one that was brand new, which was awesome. And actually owning it for as long as I did, it was. I mean, the guitar is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. When I talked to a couple people with Fender about this guitar, they said it was one of the best-selling guitars ever because they just sold so many and they made a ton of money off of it. People were always impressed with it. The neck felt great. Pickups sounded great. People that wanted to learn guitar would buy it. I actually remember a story of a Hispanic woman buying one because she just liked that it was real simple with one knob and she could learn music on it. And I just thought that was such a great story.
Yeah.
She had a green one and it was just like, man, Mexican woman playing Tom DeLonge's Strat. It's so cool.
That is, yeah. One thing I do remember, and Brian, I don't know if you and I've even talked about this. I don't think I did. I told you, but I remember it would have been in like 2003. I was at the store and they had a Fender catalog of the guitars that you could buy. And so I just said, for ordering a Tom DeLonge. So he was looking in the book, and I saw it with my own eyes too. It also said there was a Tom DeLonge that you could buy that was shell pink. Now I don't know if they just mix up the Hoppus and the DeLonge, but it said DeLonge shell pink, and I think that obviously, I'm pretty sure that was just a typo.
We can even do an episode. I mean, we will do an episode on the Hoppus. For the Hoppus bass, it didn't even say shell pink. It just said Daffy Blue, Surf Green, and Pink.
Yeah.
And it was just it.
Yeah.
So, I think that was probably a typo or they mixed it up.
Yeah. But it's all in all, I mean, I don't think in the stores, I never saw a yellow ever in my neck of the woods anyway. So I always saw just the green, the blue, and the black. And I thought the yellow was just some sort of exclusive that, Canada was able to get.
So the yellow, when it came out, it was not the only graffiti yellow guitar. If you remember, there was also the Powerhouse Strat.
Yeah. And
it came with a maple neck. And I used to really want that Strat because of the maple neck. I was like, I want it like Tom's. And I do remember really liking the yellow. If you'll kill this pic, I wanted to show why I stood up there for a minute. I was looking for this photo album I have, and it says me in 2013 and 2001, and then there's a picture of me. Oh,
move it over a little bit to your.
Oh, wait, yeah, there it is. There it is. That's where I'm playing it, and then you can see how young I was.
That's
pretty crazy. Yeah, had it in the talent show. We played Damn It. We called it Growing Up.
Nice.
It's really embarrassing. I would hate to show the video. It's very cringe. But there's your proof that I was hardcore into that. But why don't we go over some differences between Tom's personal and the Made in Mexico?
Yeah. So first of all, is the rolling tree that Tom has on his looks, or is this one, which is a black one that.
Now, obviously, this isn't Tom's guitar, but we're just showing the string tree, the roller string tree.
Yeah. So this was the one that Tom has in all of his custom shots that Alex made him, all the way up to even his Jazzmaster Subsonic has this exact same roller tree. Which ones, Brian, were on the signature line, the production Made in Mexico ones?
It was just that metal, like a T shape, and it was really cheap. I mean, Mexican Strats do it a lot. Save money. What we got next, bridge?
Well, they also just with the headstock. It is one thing that is different as well is it has a 1969 Fender Neck on it, custom shop, or whatever was kicking around, I guess the custom shop at the time.
Yeah.
Compared to the non with synchronized tremolo.
So this is one thing that bothered me as a kid, because one thing, I wanted my logo to be black because I always liked how Tom's had a black logo, and then I was like, what is that writing underneath Fender Strat? It was driving me crazy. It says synchronized tremolo. Now it's super confusing because he uses hardtails for the most part, but then he has 1969 Strat necks, and it's like, technically on a hardtail you don't have a tremolo, so it's kind of like he's not actually showing what he should, but it doesn't matter. He's a rock star, he can play what he wants, but that's why it didn't match. You always saw the gold Fender logo, and I was like, this is wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then obviously his has the Spurzell tuners. The Mexican has the vintage style tuners. Yeah. And I think we have one more of the bridge, right?
Yeah, so this is the one that was on Tom's.
Yeah, and notice that the on an American USA bridge, it's got the screws on the left side of the saddle. It also has, the polished, stainless, and then the black adjustable screws for the string heights and the intonation. And if you look, go ahead and show the Mexican one. It's different. That's why they don't line up exactly perfect whenever people try to switch them. I know you got it on one of these. Yeah.
Either that or I lost
I accidentally closed it. It's all right. The Tom DeLonge Mexican bridge, you can just type in Fender DeLonge bridge and it'll come up. And it's got the screws in the center of the saddle. It's more of like a chrome finish. Go ahead and click the yellow one that we had before on that first page. There it is. So see like how the screw is in the center of the bridge? That's how Mexican Strats usually are. I mean, every single one I've seen, the chrome material, I would say it's just like chrome plated on top. And it's just a little bit different shape where the adjustments are. This isn't a bad bridge or anything. Just don't expect it if you switch your parts thinking it's going to be a perfect fit. It's not. I'm not really good at modding guitars like that. I could do a pickup swap, but probably Little Red Guitars is who you need to ask about changing hardware like this. But I think you would have to change the screws.
Aside from that, I mean, so you had the like Tom's actual yellow subsonic guitar, and it was obviously graffiti yellow. So the shade that was on Tom's actual one compared to the production line, were they similar? Were they different? Were they identical?
Okay, so Jackson, who also had this guitar at one point, like, he claims it was exactly the same. And he showed me a picture. They did look exactly the same. But I'm telling you, the custom shop paint, it was like, it had like a really thick, like, clear on it. Like, it almost felt like I could hit it with a tool and it wouldn't scratch or chip as easy. And then if you've noticed the Tom DeLonge Mexican Strats, they always kind of crack right here in the pocket. Like, you see it all the time where they crack in the pocket, and then they lose chips of paint and you start to see bare wood. I've seen some of them just like completely be bare wood right there. And I just feel like the custom shop just had a little bit stronger paint or more clear, and you can't see the seam lines as much, but it's nothing to make you want to write home about. Like, it's still so similar and worth it for the money. Obviously the resale value on these Mexican Strats is insane right now. Unreal. I would never pay that myself, but I understand that they're now collectibles and they're not just play an instrument anymore.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We can talk about the Squires now if you want.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously with the wild success of the Fenders, they did made a Squire version that for an American was $180, was it?
Yeah, it was $179.99. I actually had the joy of being able to buy a white one new off the rack at the store. Now, let me tell you, this is not what the white looked like when it was brand new.
No.
It was like the most perfect white that matched the pick guard. Like, I remember showing my friends and I was like, this is called polar white. It is so perfect. I wish Fender would make more guitars like this. It matches the pick guard like perfectly. And I loved that guitar. It was so awesome. But they made it in like late 2002, early 2003, and not for very long. And I remember the paint was so crappy. Like, I'm not even a hard player, and it would pick up like your pick. It would have like marks in the paint.
Oh,
and then if you notice, Stefan, from listings, they always chip.
Oh yeah.
Always.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find a perfect white picture. They're all they just look like road worn Fenders now.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that when they did the black, they changed the pickguard to black and the pickup. Now, these are Duncan designed Invaders and not Seymour Duncan Invaders, but they were actually pretty good. I mean, you can check out Little Red Guitars. I think he does a comparison, but they hold up very well. And the green one didn't have the pearloid pickguard. So if you see one on eBay or Reverb with pearloid, it's been replaced. Like, You've got to understand the Squires, they were trying to save a little bit of money. Stefan will show you that they had a different neck plate font on them. It's just everything was a little different. Even inside the body cavity, there was just one little hole for the pickup. And then in the Fender, it was like the HSS or the HSH or whatever it was. It had room to put more pickups. It just had a higher quality to it. You can see here, the neck plate font is a little different. I don't know if we showed the original, but this one, oh, there's the original. See how it's like different? The Fender one is a little thicker, a little more engraved, a little deeper. I know this is so nitpicky, but it's true. And if you look at the Squire, it was a much lighter engraving with a little different font.
And it's good, and it's also good for people to know when they are buying, because obviously you can only buy used, to kind of spot some of the little tiny differences. The one cool thing I really did love about the Squires when they released is they were more true to the guitars that Tom was playing at the time. I mean, the black on black with it, because I mean, there's two versions of the black Fenders that Tom uses. This one here is more of reminiscent of the First Aid video. Because even in the First Aid video, Fender that he uses,
disaster.
The black pickguard is all black. There's no white outline like it is on his Boxcar, 2002 white striped one. So, this is, I think, really cool. And then the white on white, I mean, everybody knows has obviously different inlays. But like his rock show.
Well, it doesn't have the outline. One reason probably to save money, to make it one ply. But it worked out that way because it matched, which is cool.
Yeah, so it's cool to see these two coming out being more, because for the Fenders, I mean, he used the yellow, different neck. Brian was just talking about the surf green. I mean, everybody knows that was his pretty much main one. He never used a Daphne blue.
He never used it, and we have to clear the air here. The Man Overboard video, I got proven wrong on this. I thought he was using the Daphne blue. He's using the silver.
Yeah.
And it's just a blue light shining up on it.
Yeah.
And it looks Daphne blue. So I'm sorry, I was wrong about that. He did not have a Daphne blue that he played. I'm sorry to anyone that owns one and they thought so. Still a cool guitar though.
And then the black one also, he never used this style
of
black.
Yes, he did. Do you know where he used it?
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
the Boxcar. Never mind. I'm sorry. It took a second to click in, but it clicked in. That's right. So he did. So it was the blue. The blue was the only one that he didn't ever use to.
And the yellow was the subsonic with a different neck. But yeah, true.
So, I mean, who knows? There could have been a time where he had it in his arsenal and he took it out and played it like he did for the Epiphone that one time, and just nobody in 2001 snapped a picture. It could be, but from, I mean, my knowledge anyways, I don't think he's ever used the blue, which is unfortunate because I love the look of the blue. I think that blue looks, it's one of my favorite out of,
I mean,
sure.
that was the one that had was this. You had the blue. You just gotta be careful when you're buying these Fenders and Squires, man. Like, there's a lot of fakes. A lot of people are piecing them together. They call them legit or call them original, and they're not. You just have to know what you're looking for. And one of the key things is make sure you get a neck that has 21 frets, not 22. Now, I will kind of break some hearts. I learned this in the past year that the neck is actually not a Tom DeLonge custom neck. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they had a Fender Deluxe Strat. Look it up. Type in orange Fender Deluxe, made in Mexico, Stratocaster, HH. The two humbucker pickup, or two humbucker Strat, you'll see it, and it has a trim, but it has this neck. Same specs, same tuners, same decal, but it was made in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's heartbreaking because I always was like, oh, this is a custom Tom DeLonge neck. It's just as similar to a 1969. And if you're curious why he chose 1969, it's super popular because who played it, Stefan? Who is famous for the 1969 Strat?
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, man. Good job.
So, yeah.
Jimi Hendrix of Woodstock. So, it's a great guitar. What do we have left? We have the Gear 182 exclusive.
We do have one exclusive, yeah. So, Brian, this was your friend, right? So, for everybody who doesn't know, we talked about thing before, but Tom had a sale called the DeLonge's sale with all of his gear and stuff. And one of the guitars that was on there was a yellow one that was never used, tag still on, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah,
it was tag still on it, brand new, never used. Yellow, he had a green one and a yellow. The yellow was $5,000. The green one was $10,000. And it was just so bizarre the way he priced them. But these were the ones that he had. And my friend that I grew up with, one of my great friends, he has it. So he still has it to this day. So I was able to get some pics from him of it to show off to everybody, even though it's just a made Mexico production Strat. But here it is. You can see on the COA there, nothing is checked. He wrote Fender Custom Shop Tom DeLonge Strat. I have taken this thing apart. I wish I had taken pictures when I did, but with Little Red Guitars on his Instagram, we took it apart, checked. It was a bridge pickup. So this is probably one of the first ones made for Tom. They gave him one, still a bridge pickup. So that solves that mystery. But there it is in its glory. Nothing custom shop about it. Nothing inside the pick guard under the neck that says custom or different. You can see he also has a Hoppus base in black, and then the original listing is up there in the corner. It's pretty cool stuff, man. I just cannot believe how expensive it was back in 2015.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I think when we were looking more into this one and the green one, it was just, I think Tom thought that it was really those two were a custom shop built, because I don't think Tom really knows too much about the makings or anything like that of his gear, and I think he just literally thought this was two guitars that were given to him that he just never used on tours. But yeah, it's pretty cool nonetheless.
Yeah, I just want to say that you can see that is Tom's handwriting on the COAs, which is pretty cool. But you can see his case in here. This is the case that he gave with this guitar. It was I know there's some geeks out there that are dying to know. It's one of the red handle hard shell plastic cases that says Fender on the outside. And on the outside of the case, it had one F Famous Stars and Straps sticker. So that's cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. That's awesome.
But yeah. What else did you have to wrap this up, man?
I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, again, with everything, all the builds and everything that's going on right now and the past few years, you're seeing more and more. Just be careful when you're looking to buy one. And, if you want to hit us up on Instagram, if there's anything or any questions that you have about, if you're wanting to buy one, to see one if is legit or not, we're more than happy to help to our best of our knowledge. And yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for watching, as Brian finishes shredding off. Yeah, anything you want to say, Brian, before we end it?
Yeah, man, just leave some comments below. I'm sure we left some things out or said some things that were wrong. We love interacting with fans, and we love suggestions for future episodes. So find us on Instagram or leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.